Hi, welcome. Today it's Tuesday, April 21st. Today you're going to need one heavy object. Ideally, if you have a dumbbell and a kettlebell, great. We will use each implement. However, you can get away with just one dumbbell or one heavy object. You'll need that, you'll need a timer. We have timer app recommendations in our description below. It is going to be an EMOM today for conditioning, so you may want to download that timer and make your life a little easier. Today we're going to start with a warm-up, 3 rounds of shin boxes and forward folds. We're going to do 3 of those, then we're going to do 6 overhead good mornings. I'll show you those, and then we're going to do 9 tempo air squats with a 3-second descent. And I'll show you those. So first for the shin box forward folds. All right, feet are slightly apart. Start by folding the inside of your right knee to the ground. Boom, that's a shin box. Now, you're gonna fold yourself over that left foot. Nice and easy, you're just warming up. Then come back, bring that foot back, bring the left inside knee to the ground, make the shin box, fold over your right foot. Only go as far as your body's letting you. Make sure you're comfortable, able to breathe. Come back up. You're gonna repeat those for 3 per side. Then you're gonna roll into 6 overhead good mornings. We've done these before, but put your arms up, reach to the ceiling. Head is in neutral in line with the arms. Push your hips back, butt back until you can't, and then come back up. What we want to be careful of is that we're not losing this midline stability. We're not curling over here. So as soon as that butt is back as far as it'll go, with the legs slightly straight, slight bend in the knee, come right back up. Overhead good mornings. 6 of those, and then we're going to do 9 tempo air squats. And with those, I'd like a 3-second descent. Go ahead and count out loud till you get the feel for a 3-second descent. 1, 2, 3, and up. 1, 2, 3, and up. After that last set of tempo air squats, you're gonna do 60 butt kickers. Butt kickers are nice and fast in the tempo, trying to touch those heels to your butt, like this. Nice and fast, 60 of those, so 30 each side. All right, press pause and enjoy that warm up. I'll see you back here for strength. Welcome back, hopefully you're good and warmed up. Today's strength is an EMOM, every minute on the minute for 16 minutes. You got 4 different movements, so that's 4 rounds of those 4 movements within each minute. This EMOM is set up a little differently. Mostly we've been doing 30 seconds or 20 seconds of work for each minute. In this case, minute 1, we're gonna do 50 seconds of work, 50 seconds of up downs, 10 seconds of rest there. Into that second minute, we're gonna do 40 seconds of glute bridges with 20 seconds of rest for that second minute. Then the third minute's going to be 30 seconds of flutter kicks with 30 seconds of rest. And the fourth minute is going to be 20 seconds of squat jumps, 40 seconds of rest. And then back up to that minute 1 where you're again doing 50 seconds of up downs, 10 seconds rest, so on and so forth. I'm going to go over those moves for you. The up down, you all know, is also called a squat thrust. Down into that plank, shoot the feet out, bring them back in, come up. Squat, thrust, or up, down. You're doing 50 seconds of those. Then you're doing glute bridges for 40 seconds on minute 2. Get down on that ground, tuck the heels in by the butt, and bring the hips up to the sky. The only thing touching the ground is those shoulders and those shoulder blades, that upper portion of your back and your head. Nice and neutral, hips to the sky, 40 seconds worth of glute bridges. And then stay on the ground for that 20 seconds of rest after those glute bridges. And you'll be doing flutter kicks for 30 seconds. Lift those feet, somewhere between 6 and 12 inches off the ground, and flutter kick, nice and straight. Keeping those lower abs engaged the whole time for 30 straight seconds, and then you'll have 30 seconds of rest. If you need more of a challenge on those flutter kicks, and you happen to have some parallettes or even 2 chairs, you can set them up. If I have some parallettes here, but if you were to take 2 chairs, take 2 chairs this way, you could do the same thing on chairs that I'm about to show you. So this harder version of the flutter kick has you starting in an L-sit position, which means your toes are out in front, and then your legs are straight and you're flutter kicking. Not quite as easy, but if you have the skills, do that for your strength portion. And for the last movement, the 4th minute there, we've got 20 seconds of squat jumps. With the squat jump, start in that squat stance. Bring the hands back when you come down, up to the ceiling, back down. You're doing your best to both touch the ceiling but absorb the landing. So use the whole foot there. Absorb that landing, starting with the ball of your foot down to the heel and the legs. So just like that for 20 straight seconds, and you'll have your longest rest, 40 seconds, before going back to that 50 seconds of up downs for 16 full minutes. Should be a fun one, a little bit of cardio going on, but a good smidgen of rest too. Press pause, have fun with it, and I'll see you back here for conditioning. For conditioning today, we have a new setup. Movements we should be familiar with, but definitely a new setup. It's going to be an EMOM, but it's every 2 minutes on the minute for 20 minutes. It's going to be a kettlebell dumbbell complex of 8 single arm thrusters. That's 8 total, so 4 each side. And then 12 Russian kettlebell swings, 16 single arm dumbbell rows. That one is each side, so 16 each arm. Then 20 goblet squats. Now the idea is you have 2 minutes to do this complex. Should be plenty of time, and then you'll have 2 minutes of rest. So minute 0, you start, you do the complex. Hopefully you're done by 2 minutes, the 2 minute mark. You'll rest on minute 2. All right, and then at minute 4, you start with the complex again. Okay, so you're going to be doing this complex 5 total times on minutes 0, 4, 8, 12, and 16. You will be resting for 2 full minutes, ideally, for minutes 2, 6, 10, 14, and 18. Now, if it takes you a little bit longer than 2 minutes, keep pushing through. Finish that. You might only get a minute and a half worth of rest. If you're finding that it's going well past that 2 minute mark, you may just want to stop at 2. You could pick up where you left off the next round, whatever works for you. Or you can just power through and tack the rest on at the end. Make it your workout. If you want to get all the movements in, take all the time you want. All right, so let's go over some of these movements. Single arm thrusters. With the dumbbell, safely pick up that dumbbell, get it into the racked position, find your squat stance, keep this free arm out for balance, down to the squat, thrust it up. All right, try to get parallel or below on that squat, and then time the press of this dumbbell once your hips and knees are fully extended. It'll make that dumbbell a little bit lighter. All right, so 8 of those, 4 each side. Total single arm thrusters. After that, you have 12 Russian kettlebell swings. Set that kettlebell down right between your feet. You're pretty much squattish, squat stance, or maybe a little bit inside that squat stance for these. Bend down, grab it, hike it back, bring it up to eye level. Eye level is Russians. And remember, we're using the hips to fire this kettlebell up, okay? Slight bend in the knees, fire the hips. It's not a big squat. Our backs aren't rounding down here. Nice stable midline. Use those hips. You should be staring at that kettlebell once it gets to the top for a Russian swing. All right, 12 of those. Then we have 16 single arm dumbbell rows each side. Grab your object, slight bend in the knee, hinge the back, midline's nice and stable. Let that dumbbell hang out in front, keeping that midline stable, and row. Or start that lawnmower. However you want to look at it. Just do 16 reps each arm. All right. After those, goblet squats. If you have that kettlebell, use it. Find that squat stance. Put that kettlebell in the goblet position. Can honestly be like this, 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 whatever's comfortable. Just keeping those elbows in, object on your chest, like a goblet. All right, squat stance, and butt goes back first, down and up. Almost fell over, we're doing that again. Butt first, down, parallel or below, back up. Keeping that midline stable the whole time. Elbows nice and tight. Goblet squats, you got 20 of those. Don't forget, every 2 minutes on the minute. 2 minutes of work, 2 minutes of rest. Press pause, have fun with this one. I think it's a cool setup. You should enjoy it. And we'll see you back here for cool down. All right, welcome back for a very necessary cool down. You always have the option to do the shutdown challenge before you do this cool down. It's in the description below. Today's cool down involves the lizard pose. You're gonna do 30 seconds each side on that one. You can do that dynamic or static. And then the world's greatest stretch. With the world's greatest stretch, we're gonna rest 30 seconds in each pose. I'm gonna show you that now. So start with the world's greatest stretch, get in that plank position, then bring your right foot on the outside of that right hand. You're gonna leave that left hand planted. You're gonna try, lift that right hand up and try to bring that right elbow to the ground. That is a very strong word, try. Not everybody should be able to, so don't worry about it if you can't, but the point is you're stretching this area right here. Your hamstring, your groin area is opening up. So we're gonna hold this position for about 30 seconds. So from this position, you're gonna go into a pigeon pose. So you can leave that left arm planked and just bring that leg under. Right leg under. Lower yourself onto your elbows if you can. If you can bring your head down, great. But you're gonna hang into this pigeon pose for 30 seconds. You can kind of rock back and forth. Take deep breaths, try to stretch lower each time. But hold that position for about 30 seconds. After the pigeon, come on up into a straight leg. Hamstring stretch. Bring that toe up. If you can reach that toe, pull it toward you. And you're stretching this Holding this position for about 30 seconds. If you want to do a more dynamic release and stretch for that 30 seconds, you can. And then lastly, keeping that foot forward, you're going to work into a hip flexor stretch. Bring those hands overhead, push them toward the ceiling and lower, feeling that stretch in the hip flexor. I'll switch sides for you just so you can see. Again, hands toward the ceiling, lower leg, arch the back, feeling that stretch here. And hold for about 30 seconds for that pose. And then do the opposite side. Again, holding 30 seconds for each of those poses of the world's greatest stretch. All right, for that lizard pose, you're gonna get down on the ground. You're gonna have your right leg is forward, left hand on the ground. You're gonna grab that left foot with your right hand. And then you're gonna kind of ease forward, stretching that hip flexor area and that quad attachment, and just kind of leaning forward into that. Now you can gradually hold and breathe, and every time you exhale, try to stretch a little further for 30 solid seconds. Or you, again, can go dynamic with that and release the tension, go back in. Trying to get a deeper stretch, though, each time on that hip flexor front area. I'll do it with the opposite leg. You might get a better view. So again, grabbing your right foot with your left hand, and just bringing that left foot forward so that you can kind of lean in and stretch that hip flexor area. Really good quad stretch here too. And if you can, bring that chest up high. And again, you can either do that static, trying to stretch a little deeper each breath, or releasing and dynamically going deeper. So that is the lizard pose. That's your cool down for today. I'll see you again tomorrow. Thanks for joining Mitten Fitness, CrossFit Dexter, for these quarantine, stay home, get ripped workouts. All right, congratulations. You have graduated into a new shutdown challenge. The last one was challenging, to say the least, especially at the very end with all those reps that have accumulated. Nobody expected to be closed this long, but thanks for challenging yourselves and sticking with it. We've got a new challenge for you starting today, Saturday, April 18th. All right, so the new challenge has accumulating 1 full minute of elbow planking. Also, after that, accumulating 1 full minute of hollow holds. After that, you're gonna do 48 push-ups, more push-ups, but think how ready you'll be for Murph. And then after the 48 push-ups, you're gonna do 10 light, emphasize light goblet squats, okay? So this is going to increase daily by 5 seconds on the holds for the plank and the hollow hold, by 1 push-up, and by 2 light goblet squats each day that we continue to be closed due to this virus that's out there. All right, so let's show you the movements. Elbow plank, you probably know, but I'm gonna show you. Down on those elbows, on the balls of those toes, your core is engaged. You're pressing down, pressing into that ground with your elbows and your feet, your toes. Really pressing down, really squeezing the abs, squeezing pretty much every possible muscle you can during this hold to get the most out of it. All right, that is your elbow plank. Hollow hold. Make that bowl with your body. Leg raise, arms up and out. Make sure your shoulders are off the ground. Basically only touching the ground from the center of your back to your tailbone, and holding. Engage that core. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Push-ups. Push-ups you know. Push-ups you love. And start in that full plank position. Down, chest to the ground. Elbows are in, either 45 degrees or tighter, and up. Push-up. Now if you don't have the full strict push-up, no problem. Go to your knees, down, up, and if you need to scale that even further, find that coffee table, bench chair, side of your rig, and do your push-ups into that object. All right, then last but not least, goblet squats. This is not necessarily light, but it is a kettlebell in the goblet position. Elbows are in, nice and racked. Your goblet is hugging your chest. Squat stance for these, and you're gonna start with that butt back. So push the butt and hips back, down, parallel or below, and back up. Have a blast with this shutdown challenge. It doesn't matter when during the day you do this. It is meant to be as well as your normal workout for the day. You can do it throughout the day, piece it up, do it throughout the day. You can do it before you go to bed. You can do it as soon as you wake up. It's your workout, it's your challenge. Just have fun with it. Thanks, guys. Hey folks, really appreciate you tuning in. Please do us a favor, press that like button, subscribe, find us on Facebook, find us on Instagram, like us, follow us. Stay healthy.